Welcome, everyone, to another phenomenal, fantastic, life-changing, earth-shattering episode of Sidereal Astrology, Myth, Magic, Mysteries, and more. There's always more. Today we have a very special guest, Christine Cardoza of Oasis of healingspa.com. So definitely her links are, well, I just spelled it out for you, but it's also her links and stuff are going to be in the video description. We're also going to touch a little bit on the full moon today. So that's going to be fun. Let me see what is going on. Niki, am I missing anything before?
Well, let's see. We are still in the midst of putting together all of our submissions for the Sidereal Rising Journal. So if you have a submission or you're interested, the deadline's it's come and gone already. So
yeah, but we'll get you on the next one.
We'll get you on the next one. Just reach out. You can reach out to me. My email's right there. You can reach out to Abbey. You can reach out to either one.
Yeah, that's right. You guys check out the video description. There are links for the upcoming conference got scheduled. That is September 26th. That is a Saturday. So far, it's looking like it's going to be from 10 to 3, just like last time, but we may add an hour to either side of that, just depending on how, like what it looks like,
what we book, and what we got going on.
We also got a bunch of awesome workshops coming up, so you guys can register for those.
Yeah, that's all listed on our events page. Thank you so much for listing that. I wrote all of my stuff down really sloppy, so I went back to.
Yeah, I did too. I had to.
Did I write this down right? Yeah. What did we say? I was just so excited. I was just writing messy. So it was
fun. Me too.
We had a good time.
Hi, Lori. Hi, Trayton. Trayton, we're going to have Trayton on the show on, I believe, second week in January, whatever the date is on that Wednesday. That's pretty exciting.
Nice.
Elise is here. Yes. Ryan Regulus 6066. Welcome. Well, if you guys are up for it, let's go ahead and introduce our very, very, very special guest, Christine Cardoza. Christine, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, kind of how you got started, and we'll just go from there.
Cool. Thank you so much. It's so fun to be here. To chat with your peeps. Our peeps, really. I love the side.
Yeah, are you usually in the video? You're in the video or the chat, right? You're normally
totally. How this all started, I grew up very strict fundamental religion in religion. So Jehovah's Witness, Catholic high school, Baptist marriage and divorce. Then I faded when church got to go on Zoom. Then I did nothing. Then I went to the pendulum swung the complete other way, and I started visiting sex clubs and investigating that route and killing the good girl programming. And now I feel like the pendulum swung back into the middle, and I feel in a more healthy state in regards to that. And I found spirituality through that, and allowed myself to look at my astrology chart, because when we grew up, we weren't even allowed to read the horoscope in the paper.
That was like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I would do it and I sneak. I would do it knowing that God was not approved that I was reading the horoscope. It's just so crazy, the programming. And so in 2020 during lockdown, I had been in travel. I wanted to get out of it, and thank you, lockdown, because when planes don't fly for 14 months, you kind of have to pivot and do something else. And so I started to investigate, Reiki and energy work and astrology. What's really funny is my first astrology reading, I had my mom come in and sit in the room with me because I had a fear. Like, what if something bad happens, or, just the way we were programmed in religion. And the lady who was reading the chart, she didn't know anything about my background in religion that I've just mentioned. And she said, there's something in your chart at 9 years old about you and your mom, some kind of connection with religion. And I was like, shut the front door. Like, that is not in my chart. That was such a difficult time in my childhood, because my mom had me out of wedlock in the Jehovah's Witness culture. And then we were normal. We had birthdays and Christmas and all that. And then at age 9, my grandma called her and said, you got to put the girls back into the religion. I have a younger sister. And so from 9 years old, we had to go back to the Kingdom Hall, they call it. And I had to go knocking on doors. And there was a kid, I knocked on his door, a guy from school. And I wanted the ground to just swallow me up. I felt so embarrassed because I'm like, what is he going to say at school? Like, I knock on his door. I should be at home watching cartoons on a Saturday morning. And so it was a very horrific time in my life. And by age 13, I asked my mom if we didn't have to go anymore, and she agreed. So I had that short stint in there, but I was like, that's in my astrology chart. I can't even believe that. And so I started to do a little bit more research, thankfully through a beautiful healer I found, True Sky Sidereal. Her name is Keturah. And I've been learning since 2021 and just learning a little bit more about my chart. And the more I learn it, I'm like, wow, that's why I've gone through all those hard things. So much rejection, like not knowing my dad, my ex-husband left, a few business partners that, went sideways. And I have Ophiuchus in the 7th house. And I was like, oh, one-on-one relationships, partnerships, marriage, contracts. I'm like, this makes so much sense. So it's like I have to, shout it almost from the rooftops, go knocking on doors maybe.
Right?
So like we both study. I feel that's our true soul contract, and when you understand like where the aspects are and how they all work together. Like I have Pluto in the 4th house, so I was supposed to go through hard things as a child. And it's in, opposition to the moon in the 11th house in Pisces. Like I can understand why I've had, the deep family wounding that I've had, and to, not be a victim or to blame them, but to look at this is what I came to go through and how to heal myself based on those things. So the chart is like, it's so freaking cool to see, where your hiccups are supposed to be in this lifetime so that you can learn the lessons. We're not going to learn them singing Kumbaya, right? So
thoughts and prayers. Let's just disconnect and not look at the patterns and look at the things that led us here. That's why using True Sky is so important. I had a tropical reading too that I just couldn't resonate with. I'm like, this is such entertainment. Like, and she was just blowing smoke up my partner's butt. Like, oh, you could have been a pro baseball player. Like, shut up. Now I got to go deal with that at home. The ego on that. Like, are you kidding me? And it didn't give me any answers. So that's why I only dabbled a little bit with astrology. But like you, I'm in the same boat. We hit that lull. COVID happened. They locked everything up, and it was time to start exploring. Why didn't this work?
Yep.
Why didn't this add up? And I had the same epiphany, when I looked at my True Sky chart and I had it read by a few very talented astrologers and started looking at all of the deep stuff myself. I was like, this is insane. It blows your mind because there's no way you would ever go back to using a system that doesn't even resonate, doesn't even come close to the deep, deep stuff that, True Sky really hits on. In my humble opinion, I guess. But yeah, that sounds incredible. Like you've had the whole like deep religious pendulum swinging. You've done the opposite where you're like, no, we're gonna see what sin is like. Why not, right? Oh
yeah. Well, Venus is my chart ruler, so there's like something in there, but I have Mercury and Mars in the 8th house. Like I was to go down that path. There was, a purpose to it, and I am grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, we've all had those moments in our lives that open us up to, they got to crack us open to get us to, try new things, evolve. Otherwise, we just stay doing the same boring things all the time. Like I couldn't imagine being the same person I was 20 years ago. Oh my God. I even looked back at some like before I deleted my long-standing social media. Have you guys ever looked back at some of the stuff you've like posted or said, like statuses? No. Okay. Well, I have, and oh my God, it's cringy. It's so cringy. So the growth is real. It's real. So how, you've had a lot of different experiences and you've had, you'd said different business partners. So you knew like you were on that, healing path. You knew that you were going to eventually be where where you're at. So how did you start your business, and what's it all about? Because I've dug into your website and it just looks incredible. Like, I want to spend a lot of time there, actually. And you're making me feel like it's definitely time to visit the spa for sure.
I feel, yeah, welcome. Let's do a retreat. I would love that. I'm an event space, so yeah, totally. I think for me, like where the dip really happened was in 2018 when I hit a major depression, and it was like, okay, I've traveled the world, so I've had these mountaintop experiences, but how do I get that back? I was raising a niece. She was really little, like about 5 or so at the time. And I didn't want to be here anymore. I was having suicide ideation, but I had this child, so it was like, he kept me grounded here for sure. And then as I was, figuring out how to heal myself, I started with mindset. I hired a mindset coach, and he said, you can only hold one thought at a time. It's either empowering or disempowering. And it was the first time I had heard that I have a choice in what I'm thinking about. And so that was like a huge epiphany. And then I just kept going. I'm like, okay, so how do I come back to myself, my true self? And so what happened was I started coaching online after lockdown. I was helping people a little bit with business and mindset stuff, some law of attraction, which I want to go back and rewrite that part. Because it's not about manifesting. We're always manifesting, but you're manifesting what your core root belief is. Yeah. So then we come back to, if my belief is that I can't have, let's say, a healthy relationship, then I'm going to keep that going. I got to heal the wounds or whatever from just my core root belief in that. That's one part of it. But I also feel your rising sign is what you're here. Those are your limiting beliefs. I'm a Taurus rising. And so if I'm to rise into Taurus, and that means my shadow is going to be the Taurus shadow, right? To look and research that. So people, who are in therapy for years and years, it's like, why don't you have a birth chart read? And you'll see like what you're here to grow through in this lifetime, and it'll explain the hard things that you've been through. So anyways, in 2022, I was offered an opportunity to buy a salt cave spa. So I have 2 salt caves and a few other rooms. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I can have a physical place where people can come. I'm very much a social person. I love to hug. And so people who come in are being nurtured. They're being cared for on a level that they're probably not getting at home or haven't had since maybe they were children. And I'm here to teach people, I feel, how to look at their bodies different. So I teach people how to read their body language and how to read their stars. So I'm very unique in the sense someone's coming in for massage because they've got back pain or sinus issue or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, that's what brought you here, but why do you have the pain? And I go through the psyche, brain, organ connection through Germanische Heilkunde, or also known as German New Medicine. I call it GHK. And I teach them their stars. So they're getting their Egyptian playing card reading and a numerology reading while they're here. It's actually on my intake form that they take home with them.
That's really cool.
And I have some healing tips and stuff, but I give them their life path number, and I give them their personal year. So what they're moving through in this year. So I had a gentleman in yesterday, an ex-hockey player, and they need a high, right? Because when you've been an athlete and you're in sports, they need the high. And so I just feel he's a 5. So he's the freedom-seeking adventurer, but he's also the sensual freedom seeker. So there's going to be something around sensuality, and that was part of our conversations, and just teaching him how to develop himself at home better. With men, when they have more tools, they feel stronger and confident within. And I said to him, also look up your shadow of the 5. You're going to see your crap. You're going to see what you're here to grow through in this lifetime. And then, doing his personal year, then I already know what he's here to grow through. He's in a 1, which is new beginnings. He's starting a brand new 9-year trajectory of how he's going to develop himself. And so I just feel it's so empowering that when someone comes in, maybe it's something heavy, or if they're in a 9-year, or, there's certain years where they're heavier than others. I'm like, this is why you're going through this thing right now, because you're being called to clean out that old junk and that old stuff. So it's when you look at as above, so below. So we look at the body. I always look at the body first. What's your body saying? Skin is a separation conflict. So it's
Oh,
like, well,
yeah.
where do you feel you can be abandoned, as the deeper core root? Okay, separation, fine, but you have a core root belief and you've been abandoned before or felt isolated, And so it's looking deeper. Why your body is saying those things, it's speaking for the subconscious. But so that's the so below, or as within. And then what do your stars say as a secondary piece? Because just like life being like a video game, you're here to grow through certain things, and those people are a catalyst to help you to grow through your immature Mars placement, or wherever the more difficult, like Saturn or Chiron is. So I just feel that I'm teaching people, how to not be dependent on someone else, that they know themselves so much within that they know why they have the hip pain, or they know why they cry so much. I like working with men because they just get it very easily. Another example is a man came in and he doesn't love his job and he just keeps crying and crying. And he came during Scorpio season and he's a Cancer sun in true sky. And I'm like, dude, you're water, water. So to me, tears are like spring cleaning. It's like, clear it out. You are grieving an old part of you that doesn't exist anymore. And I feel he's going to find his true self. Like he's coming into, that spiritual awakening or his walk. Yeah.
That's real. That's real. That's actually like so funny you talk about all of that, because it's lining up with like how I see the full moon and how I see this like actual cycle coming to
Yeah.
a peak. And your clientele's kind of reflective of that, because we can't really cut, like I've got this thing right now where I've been talking about cutting cords. Okay. Like healing by cutting cords, but what are you really cutting cords with? You have to really sit and think about it before you do the actual act of, whether it's meditation or ritual or however it is, however you decide to proceed along with your cord cutting. But what has gotten me is it's where is the core root of that, and how are we showing people where that core root is? It starts with the pattern. It starts with the pattern that you've chosen to, you have to cut that off. So if you're picking, unavailable people to, live your life with, maybe you need to choose differently. It starts with those types of like coming to, coming to, waking up and saying, is this fantasy? What I've been pursuing no longer aligns with the evolutionary path I want to be on. So, I mean, it's deep, it's psychological. I mean, it can get dark, it's messy, or there's snot and tears, all that shit's involved. I mean, it's something. It's something. It's so cool. Like we got you on Scorpio season, because that's literally what's been happening, I think, for a lot of people. Maybe not as much, snot and tears for others as it's been for me. And, but yeah.
Can I share about cord cutting?
Yeah.
So,
what do you say?
Two things I feel. Everyone is in their emotional crap right now. Like we're ending a 9-year, which is endings, completion, graduation, right? So dark night of the soul. So it's like this month in December 2025, it's your opportunity. What do you want to clear out? Where are your energy leaks? What doesn't feel good, to you? But I've learned the cord cutting from both ways, from my spiritual teacher. So to cut, and then also not to cut and send love up the cord. And I'll explain both, like just kind of where I sit with my brain on that. My son is in the 9th house, so I'm going to bring in some of that.
Definitely.
And how we elevate ourselves. So the first is like when we blame someone else for hurting us, like that is real. And if that's where you are, honor and process it in that place. But if you can also look, I like the polarity of things. It's like, this person hurt me, and what am I supposed to learn from it? Right? So we're looking at both.
Definitely.
And not, bypass that. You're in it. You're in it for a reason. What's your lesson? But with the blame, the etymology of the word is to be lame. Right? So if I say, well, my mom did this and da-da-da, then yes, that is a part of it. And I need to honor, my inner child or whatever it is and what I'm moving through. But I'm also here to learn how to speak my truth and know what my boundaries are, my borders, you know, and that kind of thing. So there's a learn that my mom is a catalyst for what I was here to learn in this lifetime, right? Looking at it from that place. And so with cord cutting, I feel like people are either in two energies where they're like, you know, F them, I'm cutting this cord, like I'm so sick and tired of this pain over and over. And to me, it's like if
It
you
doesn't
cut
work
it,
when you
the cord
do
is still
that.
in you. Yeah, the cord is still in you. And it formed a part of your personality and who you are. I love that both of your cats are present. I want to say thank you because my cat's been missing for a week, and I just appreciate the kitty energy that's been mentioned today because
no.
I know energetically she's here. So
They come
yeah.
back. They come back. I've had them come back a couple of years later. They show up. So hopefully it
Wow.
won't be that long, but they do.
Hopefully not. Yeah. And so when you are, you know, in a place of reverence for the thing happening and you see the lessons or the patterns that it taught you and that person was the catalyst, then to me it's kind of like, I like visuals, I'm a visual learner. It's like sitting on the side of a lake or the ocean and you've got a little boat and you kind of like just send it off in peace, you know. Thank you for the lessons you brought to me, but I am done. We are complete. Our soul has completed this learn and I wish you well, you know, versus like, who has the biggest scissors because I need to cut a whole bunch of crap. And you are where you are. So let's just like let it be. But what I really liked with one of the teachers who said they didn't believe in cutting, but what they believed in is like send the person as far away as you can. And spirit is here. I get goosebumps when I'm speaking truth. So spirit is here. My mom will come on my left or on my right, which is neat if she comes in. So it's just like you imagine the person. So my ex-husband example was a good example for me. And you just like push them as far away as possible. It's like, I will love you from like where I can't even see you, like as a soul. Good luck, but you're not a part of my life anymore. And you send love, like you make that cord wrapped in so much light. And it's to a place where you can't even see them. They're just wrapped in God's love, you know, and let them be. I feel people who hurt others or have done things that weren't truthful, whatever, their time will come for them. They will have to reconcile that within themselves. They also have to lay down each night and feel proud about their life and what they've shared or said or did or whatever. So like life will get them in that sense. But it's like if you can give them that wrapped cord of love, and then what it does for you is you have peace inside. Right. And if I run into him again, then I've done that as a ceremony, you know, for our relationship. And thank you for the lessons. I appreciated, you know, what I learned through that and what it helped form in me as my personality. Right. And to me, that's just an easier way of sitting with the situation or the person, that I'm not re-triggered every time I think of them, or if I did run into him at the grocery store or whatever, then I'm going to be re-triggered if there's a cutting because I'm like, you're overstepping my boundaries again, even if it's energetic. So just a little thing on there as far as like when I've learned both sides of cord cutting, that's just what felt more calming for me, and I guess the way that I connect. Ophiuchus in the 7th house.
Yeah.
Love and forgiveness are the biggest ones that people seem to have a really hard time with when it comes to those situations. That seems to be like, because I'm fortunate now anyways. When I was doing a lot of psychic work, this was not the case, but since I've decided to just do astrology and I cut all that other stuff out, I've been fortunate to have a lot of people who are interested in spirituality and personal development, which is fantastic for obvious reasons. But that does seem even some very, very spiritual people, people who've done a lot of deep, dark inner work. That's one of the ones that they have a really hard time with is first forgiving, but also, which you kind of have to have both at the same time, but also loving that person at the same time. That is honestly so offensive to so many people. Like you can just, as soon as you say that, you're like, have you forgiven this person? Have you forgiven your father for abandoning you? Have you forgiven your mom for selling you into sex slavery, which unfortunately is way more common than people realize, you know, just some really horrible stuff. They're like, no, why would I could never forgive somebody. Like, I hate this person with all of my being. But that really is like, that is the most powerful thing that anybody can do. When you can really just let go and love that person despite all of it, you reach a different level, and all of that trauma, not only are they energetically not affecting you the same way anymore, they lose all their power. And not only that, the trauma that they inflicted loses a lot of its power. Obviously, a lot of that stuff sticks in the body, in the electromagnetic field. There's things, that there's actual scars a lot of times. I would go a step further, which this is more, I'm a non-dualist, so I don't believe in any type of separation. But one of the things that really helped me, and I've talked about my ex-husband on the show many times, because for a really long time, he was coming into my dreams all the time. And he's always doing that. Like, I never think about this guy. And I would have these dreams where he's moping around, being all sad because, I left, and he's trying to convince me that my current child is his. And for, a few minutes in the dream, I'm like, oh yeah. But then I'm like, wait a second, no. And I wake up being just creeped out, like Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers was just chasing you in a dream, that level of creeped out, But then, I started to go deeper into meditation, and I reached a point where I realized, and again, this is not something that I expect anybody to be able to, do, or like, I'm not suggesting it. It's just something that has worked for me. Like, I realized, like, it's actually just me. Like, that guy, like, he's just me. This lady who just cut in front of me, because they love to do that over here. Okay. Like Russian Karens, Tanyas, as I call them, they'll cut right in front of you. Like it was nothing, and I'd be like, I can't get mad at this lady. Like, she's literally just me, Now there's times when somebody does something just outrageously ridiculous where I might have a 5-minute span where I'm venting, but then it's just like done. I'm like, yeah, I just did that to myself, like it's all like, there is no separation. And when I reach that point, it is a rare occurrence if that guy ever is able to get back into my dreams. That's the only thing that ever really, really worked. I did try all numbers of cord cutting. None of it worked. All the people so like some people, if you have like a mean boss, you can cut that cord. Like you didn't make babies with that person. So it's a lot easier to cut that. Right. But some people, depending on that level of connection, it's a family member, or you've had like intimate, experiences with someone, gets harder and harder. I know a lot of people in karmic relationships in particular, where they're repeating the situation with the same person for many, many lifetimes. You can't just, that's not like, okay, I'm going to meditate this one time and I'm going to have this one ceremony and then it's like a one and done situation. This goes so deep that like, this is just not going to work to the same. I mean, you could in theory do it, but it's just really hard and your average person can't seem to manage it. But again, once somebody reaches, I talked to this one guy, I think it was like maybe 6 months ago, something like that. And he wanted to do a reading because he's like, I've meditated, I've been to Chichen Itza, I've been to the pyramids, I've been to all these holy sites, I've lived in ashrams, I've done all of these things. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I still can't figure out, like, I haven't figured this out yet. I still have all of these bad things happening to me. People keep screwing me over, like whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, can you tell me, like, can you love any of these people who have hurt you? Absolutely not. No, I can't. Well, like, all the pyramids in the world aren't going to be able to solve that problem for you. Like, if you can't achieve a level of love and forgiveness, this person who's hurt you is always going to have that power. So he was also upset that he hadn't figured out how to levitate and fly. He was really bummed out.
Me too.
So, yeah. He's like, I feel like I should be able
man.
to do it by now. I'm like, yeah,
Me
okay.
too.
Well, technically, I guess you can. I'm sure you can. If
Well, with all that rage, maybe they'll like levitate him up.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Like, would you then look at his chart to see what he has, like if there's Saturn or Chiron or something in the 7th house, or just depending on, where squares are and stuff?
Well, I would look at the chart as a whole. I normally start with, so I read counterclockwise, and I start with the traditional 12th house. This is my foundation for the person's life, whatever constellation's rising. Now, technically, it's not the ascendant mathematically is oftentimes well beneath the horizon. So I do it topographically. So it's set up like line of sight. What would I actually see if I was standing on this point of the earth? And I let that tell me the main part of the story. I also look at the eastern point. Sometimes it's an Orion, sometimes Hydra, sometimes the Eagle. Like there's different places that it could be. And I consider that part of the ascendant too. From there, I read over to the west. Now, once we get into the bottom half of the chart, this is the traditional underworld, although it's a bad translation, in which case I have found that things in the underworld a lot of times will relate to our issues, things that we still have to work on. It's in our deep, dark inner center. I think the lowest part of the chart really speaks to those fears, insecurities, where we bury the trauma. I think to some extent Mars can do that too. And then the way that it works is in the underworld right before, so the traditional first house is where we wrap everything up. This is what like everything is leading towards. So I know it's backwards in like the modern system, but this a lot of times it represents like what you came here to, like what it's all about, because the lower half of the chart really does relate to like the deeper, more inner spiritual stuff. I know some people think like, oh, more planets above the horizon, that's extrovert, more below, that's more introvert. It doesn't really pan out that way. Just like the moon phases. I wish. Me and Alif in the chat right now, we've had this conversation before. I wish that moon phases really did tell you about like your personality and like they gave you some insight. But and they may. But none of the systems we found thus far have really panned out, at least as far as the natal assessment goes. I know Niki, who is it? Demetra George, is that who has that one book about the progressed moon phases? That was actually really cool. I thought that worked out quite a bit, but I haven't really tested it. So I'm rambling and I don't remember even what the original question was. Oh, Chiron. Okay. I haven't found Chiron to work. It might work with some people, it might, but most of the time we've tested it here on the show too. Had people tell us where their Chiron's at, and we went with like the standard meanings, and it just doesn't work from chart to chart. So I don't use it for that reason. Saturn, I have found Saturn to be, so in the Mesopotamian system in particular, Saturn's actually an awesome planet. It's a planet of health and wealth and thriving here in the material world. It's about, it's very much related to the career, the physical body, longevity, things like that. But the Mesopotamian system is not clear cut whatsoever. It's all very fluid. There's a ton of overlap. So I think outside of looking at the chart as a whole, you're like doing someone, just in the Mesopotamian system, like it's doing someone a disservice because you can't really isolate it. Elif says, I also use your system, Abby, and it feels so natural every time when I read the charts like that. It probably reversed. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So hopefully that answers the question. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, totally. And you're right. There's, people have been through some really deep, dark stuff, and you can't just meditate it away. Absolutely. I call these cosmic farts. And it's just like, you're a match to this thing for a reason. And I don't use the word forgiveness. I prefer to use acceptance. So it's just like, can you accept it is what it is? It happened. It's in the past. However you process and stuff, that it's your processing. But if you can look at it from, okay, this thing happened, and then it's giving you a little bit of space to step back, go, okay, now what do I process, or how do I move forward, having gone through this really difficult thing, or this person has been so annoying to me for, multiple lifetimes. It just gives you that little bit of space. And then, how can you move forward? Because like with a fart, you're either like, that's disgusting, and why would you do that? Or you're laughing and giggling. Right. And so if you can like track where you are until you can share the story, and as if you were saying the sky is blue, there's no emotional charge, then you have healed it. Or if you can giggle like, wow, I can't believe I did that, and I had that, it's my awareness or my coping skills or whatever, I'm glad I see the pattern and I won't do it again. But it's these stages of like, I find forgiveness is so difficult, because then that means like, if I forgive them, then the hard thing, like where does that leave me with the hard thing, and how difficult that was? Like, You don't
Yeah, and
have
then you
to
got to let it
forgive.
go, and that's hard too, because a
Yeah.
lot of times people don't realize they're identifying with their trauma.
Yeah.
They're like they've built up an entire personality profile based on
Yeah.
like horrible things that have happened to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do too. Hey, I do too. We were just talking before the show, Christine. You guys, I'm over here drinking kefir. If you were wondering what's going on, I was hungry, and even as I was telling Christine, so I've been fasting. I've been doing OMAD, and I've been struggling at the gym. Okay, so like I'm pulling like half the weight. It sucks. Like it just, and I'm worried I'm gonna hurt myself. So I ate before I went to the gym today, but I have reactive hypoglycemia. And if I don't eat every 4 to 5 hours, my sugar will crash and I'll get real nauseous and I'll nothing saves it except more sugar. And even as I'm telling Christine, I'm like, this is just some bullshit story that you have accepted in your body, in your electromagnetic field. Like, you don't have to just keep doing this. Now, I share the story for, like, I know that I'm doing it at the time. I recognize and I register it, but it's like sometimes you got to use that language with somebody because there's no other way to explain it. Because now I had to have like 2 conversations about this one thing. I had to be like, well, it's actually just a story that I keep telling myself because my mom had it and somebody probably else genetically, la, 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 la. So it's all like that in itself. These are parts of my the personality, these stories I've been telling myself throughout my life, and I've it affects, it affects my decisions and how confident I am to not just keep eating because I'm afraid, like there's like trauma's complex. There's a lot that goes into it.
It's never linear either. There's no straight path to healing. There's nothing about it that makes it just, oh yeah, I cut the cord and it was great. Like no, I've never heard anybody say
Nobody
that.
says that. Nobody says
that. Well,
I
have, but I'm sure it was just bullshit,
Maybe they were doing good for a couple of days.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it takes years, guys. It doesn't just happen overnight. You can have a great few years of, yes, I have totally mastered this. I am full of love and forgiveness. And then you're tested again. You're completely tested all over again, and you spiral. And then you're like, oh my God, am I really? And it turns into a whole new thing, or a whole new can of worms that, you have to dig into and clean up. So, I mean, it starts with, like, forgiveness starts with yourself, really. It starts with you and forgiving what you didn't know at the time, forgiving, yourself for making those choices and decisions. I mean, I've counseled people, I've talked to people who were just young and taken advantage of, or, molested, just horrible things have happened to them. And they blame themselves. Like, I should have known better. You were what? How old? Like, no. That's not how that works at all. So I think a lot of that cord cutting, cutting ties with past patterns, it starts with forgiving yourself and loving yourself and who you have become. And knowing that those things, that even though they are fucking horrible, like, I will never say, oh, that happened for a reason, don't worry. No, they're horrible things, but they build you up into the incredible human being that you're becoming. I mean, we're all like superheroes here. We all landed on Earth, and we're all trying to, like, build something up and become something. We had plans before we came here. We have lives on the other side of this veil. Like, there's something more to all of this. So to just write it off and be like, this life sucks, everything sucks, and everything's gonna always be bad. Yeah, it's good to have those feelings. It's good to express those. It's good to actually experience that, because then you're gonna experience the opposite eventually. You gotta, like, let loose of the reins, stop trying to control everything, or, stop, forgive yourself for being in that mindset of negativity all the time, where everybody's going to just screw me over and everything's going to be bad. Like, it's hard, but it's like I said, it's like a pendulum swing. You never know which way it's going to go. and it's God, guys, it's tough. Healing is tough, and it's never linear. It's never like, oh, I'm done. Oh, no, I'm done with all the healing. I've done all the healing in the world, and now I'm the most healed. Like it just never. So once I think you accept that and you love the person that you are and can forgive who, the identity that led you into that, because we're shedding these old identities constantly. We're always becoming new people, and I would hate to still be living in the same mindset I was back in 2018. I had the same.
How about last year?
Yeah, even just last year.
Yeah, 6 months ago. It's good to keep going forward.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. And I've struggled with a lot of darkness. And I don't go to therapy because they're gonna lock me up. They've threatened to lock me up. I don't talk to people because they're like, you need to call the 1-800 number. They just get weird when you talk about that kind of stuff, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't care. I don't want to do this anymore. People freak out. They're like, oh my God. What about all the things you do for me? That's the kind of responses I've gotten. I know Abby's laughing because she knows my life. And I'm seriously, guys, it's like the Truman Show here. Okay. And I'm a hostage. All right. This life has been feeling like a hostage situation. So how do you change that? You got to change the patterns, and you got to change the decisions. You got to change the choices. I mean, and those don't happen overnight. It's not like an overnight quick fix. Guess what? I moved out of my town and now everything's better. Well, it will be. Yeah. Trust me.
It's definitely better.
Yeah, it will be actually.
Life gets better. It does. Yeah. Sometimes a physical location helps, changing. It's definitely a plus.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to move out of the Truman Show town really soon, I think.
It's worse. It's worse than that. It's like drunk Stepford wives, it's not good.
Yeah.
Not a good situation.
Yeah.
Christine, you sent me a chart of sorts. Yep. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Listen, you guys in the chat, you got to let me know. So I'm going to bring up a screen on my end. But last time I tried to screen share, Niki's mic got crazy. So if that starts to happen when she talks, let me know, and then we'll have Niki open it up. But let me see here. Actually, Niki, why don't you just jump ahead and just do it anyways? Can you do that? It's one of the links if you go into the private chat. It's the Canva one, right, Christine?
Yes.
The private chat on StreamYard. Well, now I don't hear you at all. What happened? Your sound.
Sorry, I shut it off. I didn't mean to freak you out. No, I have nothing on in the private chat at all.
Okay, I will send it to you. Can you grab it from Telegram real quick?
Here, I'll just repost it here.
It might not work. If she's not seeing the other ones, she might not get it.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Well, that's weird.
It probably because I sent it before she jumped on.
Oh, okay. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay, let me get rid of this. And let me get on the right thing here. So sorry. Oh my, is my mic on? Okay.
No worries.
All right, let me find.
I find a lot of people come to see me either they can't figure out what's going on in their body or what to do with their lives. I feel like a guidance counselor for adults sometimes. And so I've been learning human design since 2019, and I like it. And there's a True Sky Sidereal human design version as well, thankfully. There's a summit coming up December 8th with Annalena Fuchs. And
we had her on the show last year, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to be one of the speakers there too. And so I created the chart just based on I've done so many readings with human design, and what I appreciated about it in my life was it gave me something to go on as far as like a theme or a direction in life. When I was like, okay, I don't want to be in travel anymore, but I don't know what I want to do. I just know I want to help people. So I find that it gives you a little bit more direction. And so what I've done is I've just taken it a little bit further, where someone can look at, your soul purpose. And so if you want to use human design or an astrology chart, it works for both. What you do from the human design is you find your sun gate on the right side, your soul sun. It's the top if someone knows human design. And then if you prefer to use your astrology chart, then you just figure out what sign is the sun in and just skip the gate part of the chart. So I'll just wait. I don't see it yet.
It's not, I can't pull it up. It won't allow me to.
All right,
Okay.
let me try to do
Okay,
it.
never mind. It's now that I said something, it's allowing me to.
It's Mercury
I apologize.
retrograde.
Shut up.
So that first page.
Nope, you guys are gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it
Yeah.
every time there's a
Oh
tech
my
issue.
God.
I'm gonna make sure that I bring it up.
Nice. This first
Okay.
page here is just really the explanation, which I'm giving you now. It's like find your human design soul sun on the right side, or just use your zodiac sun. And then there's a body part or astronomy for the whole zodiac. So for example, Aries is the head, Pisces is the feet, and all the other signs are something in between. If you can go to the second page, please.
Yes.
And then, so whatever if you're using just the astrology and it's, Scorpio or Libra or whatever it is, there's a body part that's associated there. This is from Human Design. I used Karen Curry Parker's, she's an encyclopedia, but I'm going to change this up actually to what I feel has been just taught in the regular astronomy. So I'm gonna change out of the Human Design one. I don't think it flows as well. So the chart will get updated. And I'm actually glad that this is happening even on this call, because you are the whole chart. So don't get pegged in on it's this one thing and it's got to be this and that's wrong. And you're the whole chart. Pick whatever feels good to you. And then with the body part, you can click on it and it will take you to another website, which is learninggnm.com for German New Medicine, which is what I use for the body stuff. The biological reason, why is your brain turning on that symptom? For you, I can share, Abbey, is that, with the drop, it's either the islet beta cells or the alpha beta cells, and it's connected to the pancreas. So there's a reason why your body's doing that. And sometimes the dip is the healing phase, that you're resolving something. So this website, you can go and research more. It's learninggnm.com. And so all of the body parts on this graph will lead you to that website. And
Okay.
so if so, can you read the top line? What it shares is just too small for me.
Oh, sure. It's the self-expression purpose, gate number 1, Scorpio. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Okay, and then what's the body part? Liver?
Liver, and then
Perfect.
then the theme is okay.
Yes, let me just continue. So someone will click on liver if your Scorpio sun is an example, or if you I think Mercury is also what you're here to communicate. You can pick whatever one feels good to you as well. It doesn't have to be just the sun, but in Human Design, they teach that the sun is where you're here to shine. So you already have that within you. And so if it's the liver is connected to starvation conflict or an existence conflict. Who am I? Where do I belong? Who will catch me if I fall? That kind of thing. It's also connected to addictions. When people have any kind of an addiction, it's through the liver to me, it's like this feeling of you can't receive unconditional love. You don't know how. And so it's easier to numb in that sense. When you're wanting intimacy or connection, but you don't have the words or you're just not able to, then we can easily dissociate or numb. That's just an example of how you can use the chart and use what parts feel good to you. I also like tissue salts. And on towards the end of the graph or the chart on page 6 or 7, I've also given the tissue salts. So the example I like to use is Leo. Anyone with a Leo sun, or you got a strong Leo placement or a stellium in Leo, then you can use magnesium as a way of helping other people. The whole purpose of the body chart is this is how you could help someone else. Okay. And so with Leo, it's connected to mag-phos, which is magnesium. And with tissue salts, it's homeopathic. They're small little pellets that will go in under the tongue, so it can actually go into the body. But with magnesium, there's over 400 processes of the body that magnesium is helpful for, including sleep. So if you are a Leo sun as an example, you could help someone either through the magnesium tissue salt, go and research what are the deficiencies, magnesium deficiencies, and help anyone feels good there. You're also, with Leo rules the heart and the spine. So you could go down that avenue if you want. Leo's also here to express themselves. So it may be that you're really good at expressing yourself because you are a Leo or like a Leo sun or strong Leo placements. And then you would help those who are shy or who want to express themselves better, in different ways. And so that, it's just like how you can take what your soul sun is or what your purpose is, basically your soul purpose, and just some guidance on how you can find a little bit more of a niche on, instead of saying I want to help everyone. It's like, okay, you help everyone, but you're also helping no one, because no one understands really who you help best. But if I say I help people with sexual healing or issues below the belt, which is my favorite thing to do, because I teach intimacy and tantra. So then people will recognize like, oh, I want to get better in the bedroom. And it's not so much about like what's wrong. It's like, let's give you some new tools so that you feel stronger and more confident, and automatically you're going to heal the crap. So it's just really learning, more about yourself. So
That
that's
is
the whole
true.
purpose of the chart.
I love this.
Yeah. oasisofhealingspa.com/resources. And I also, when I'm on a podcast, then I put it on the website as well. So I'm happy to share this one, the link so people can
Yeah,
find
for
you too.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's all on that page. I'll just add more resources. And eventually
Okay.
there'll be a video on like the explanation to this chart. That's coming shortly. But the idea is that don't feel stuck if you are, or isolated. Like, you're born at this time for a reason. We are the revolutionaries, I would say, who are here to help people to move through whatever, you feel called to do. Like, it's such an honor to be alive at this time, even though, I have gone through like unbelievable hard things, and many people have. But in that, I'm figuring out how to look at the world in a way where I don't have to hate the world. I can be
Yeah.
in it, but not of it, right? Where I can say, okay, well, this is my lane, or, what feels good to me. And I can be here even though all that other stuff's happening. And my favorite phrase is observe, don't absorb.
I
Because
love that.
if you
Yeah.
can just take that step back and go, okay, this crazy person in front of me right now, I'm going to throat punch them, like you can get angry and feel
You're
that. But if
Pisces
you
moon?
just,
Are you a Pisces moon?
yes, yes,
I
yeah.
hear that. Yeah.
I just spent 3 days bawling. We were just in Pisces moon.
Stop. Me too. I don't even have a Pisces moon. So
Funny. Yeah.
You have your Venus is in Pisces though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No, mine's in Taurus.
Oh, that's right. It's on Taurus.
Yeah.
What do you have in Venus?
Or what do we
Or
have in
in
Pisces?
Pisces? Yeah.
Oh, my son and
Okay.
some other thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of stuff. I made me cry for 3 days, but
Yeah.
I have a
Hey,
Pisces
it's good
stellium.
stuff.
I feel that energy.
Yeah, observe, don't absorb. That's I wish people, but that's the thing that tripped me up with astrology, and this was years ago before true sky sidereal astronomical astrology started like becoming more mainstream. And I would absorb all of these things. I would have such sensitivity issues, and then people would tell me, "Oh, you don't have to have that. Like, why do you have that? You're an Aries. You're just so sporty and fun." And I'm like, "What the? Yeah, I'm fun, I guess. Yeah, I'll just keep being fun. Like, funny joke after funny joke. Like, I guess I'll just joke about how I'm dying over all this garbage energy I'm just drowning in." So yeah, I totally get it. It took me a long time to learn how to observe and not absorb. I mean, I think you touched on a lot of like scorpionic things. People, want to merge with others, whether it's groups or people or things. They want to feel like they're a part of something so bad. And when you're rejected, the obsessions aren't, met. It's not reciprocal, like those types of scorpionic things. I mean, it can be devastating. I mean, it can feel like it's the end of it all for somebody, who's already on the verge of just losing it. But I think you brought up a lot of really great points too. Like sexual healing is incredibly important and people laugh about it. They joke about it. You know, it's so taboo. Don't talk about it. You know, like if somebody tells me to go F myself, I'm like, see you later. Like it's going to be a lot better than dealing with this attitude and this bad like time. So, you know, I think the way people use that energy too, I think that needs to be re-examined. I think that's just a United States thing. I mean,
what?
We're talking about sex and stuff like that.
That's not a United States. That's a global issue
where everybody's weirded out. Like, oh, we can't talk about it. Like,
name a country where everybody's like just normal about it. There isn't one.
I don't know. In the UK, I used to watch a lot of UK TV, and they do full frontal. Like, they're just not afraid.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. Okay, that's like a different.
Here, they're like so ashamed. You go to the sex club if you want.
That's not that's definitely not the same though. It's definitely not the same.
All right. Well,
you have entire countries that are basically their population's about to crash because they're so sexually repressed. Like everybody's got their own weird things.
So we're due for a renaissance then.
Yes.
Maybe,
That's what I'm hearing.
You guys, what day is the actual full moon?
Tomorrow, I believe.
What's today?
Today.
Okay. So the 4th. All right, that's close. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Aldebaran. Actually, where you got like a royal star activation this full moon.
This makes so much sense, you guys.
Doesn't it?
So much, yes. Listen. Okay, so listen. Personal story here. When Jupiter was swinging back and forth over Aldebaran, I was on fire. I was crushing it. It was like nonstop. Over the last week, like normally I just want to write and I want to, mostly write and research and stuff. But like this last week, I just went into it, like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I went into it like, no, I'm going to do, administrative business bullshit. And and I'm just going to be fine with it. And I have too. I've caught up on emails from months ago. I've done all kinds of, you guys don't even know. So something goes on, at least with me. It's not probably with everyone, but man, I do great when good stuff's going on around Aldebaran. So I'm digging this. Sorry, you guys have been crying. I don't know what, I don't have any of that.
Oh, that's just all the time.
I'm done.
That's been years and years and years. So I mean, it'll eventually clear up.
Okay. Well, Christine, do you want to give your take on the full moon here? We can get some different insight into it. What we got?
This is such a delicious time to be sensual with Taurus, right? Venus is the ruler, and so I would say because we're in a 9-month of for the year, clear out old shame, clear out wherever you just haven't felt good about yourself in sensuality spaces or in intimacy or that kind of thing, because that shit has to go. It's like we're done. The things have happened in the past. Yes, they formed who you are, but it's like, you can stay there and go, oh, I got to heal all this stuff, and yes, or it can be just like, you know what, that is what it is. To me, it's like the closing of a volume, like a book. And I was thinking about that earlier when you were saying like people have been through really hard things and still want to cut the cord, and if you do, go for it. But to me, it's like, you know what? That chapter is ending. It's done with that person, and you do not have access to me anymore, right? So it's just like a closing of that book, and you have a brand new book that's going to open for 2026. This horse energy for 2026. We're right now in the year of the snake and in a 9 year. So this is a shedding year. That's what I mean. Everyone is in their emotional crap right now. So if you can clear out what just hasn't resonated or old relationship stuff, or you didn't have the skills or whatever, and be done. Because what it's going to do is it's going to open up more capacity for the most amazing things that you want coming in, because you're not that person anymore, right? We change daily, I feel. And so, yeah, with this energy, I just feel it's just really delicious as a way of clearing out the emotional closet, so to speak. And what are you ready to charge forward with, right? Taurus, the bull, into the next version of what you're creating. That would be my take on the moon.
Yeah. That's really, like, I see it that way too. There's a lot going on. I mean, the sun on Antares, it illuminates a lot of the dark stuff that we have just stirring around inside of us.
Yep.
A lot of like your own hidden agendas. What are you lying to yourself about? That's really like, who am I and what am I really doing?
Yep.
Antares is such it's, we talk about Antares a lot on the show, and I love it. And I think I love it because it's one of those deep psychological places in the sky that just, people have no choice. They crack wide open. They spill their guts everywhere whenever this star is like activated. I mean, you have no choice but to rip it open and look at the raw like contents of your chest and examine your heart and see what is in there, what's going on. Maybe it's not as heavy or like as dramatic as I'm describing it for some people, but everybody's got an internal struggle right now, something that they're dealing with that is just absolutely heavy. We've got the, Christmas time, holiday season coming up. There you go. You have all of this pressure already. You're thinking about the family that you may or may not have contact with. You're thinking about money and finances and how am I going to swing it? There's just so many of those surface level things that are deeper than that. So when we look at, this cycle, Sun and Venus is near Antares, it affects our identity. It affects, our heart space, our attachments, emotional attachments, karmic attachments, all of those types of emotions and things are triggered. And then that full moon in Taurus just kind of illuminates, the emotions, and it's square the lunar nodes right now too. I was listening to Gary O'Toole's video this morning, and one thing I caught that I was like, oh my God, he said it's like the halfway point between eclipse seasons. So if it feels really karmic and it feels like it's really like it's, maybe that's why, like it could be. I think it's the royal star activations. I really do. I think we're shedding, like you had said, old identities. We're having to take another look. This full moon in Taurus is telling us, like, hey, like, how much are you going to tolerate? When are you going to take charge? You have all of this information, all of this stuff. So what are you going to do with it? So, I mean, it's kind of one of those lunar cycles where, the responsibility falls on the person to really make different choices. I say that every cycle, like, make different choices. Like, if you want to make changes in your life, you have to think about things differently. And this one's really no different, but it's really, intense. I think it's, you do, with Antares, we have those deeper, darker things that we have to face, and we do have to make sacrifices where like things do come to an end. So, you're either going to lose something and then gain something else, or you're going to gain something and lose something else. That's kind of how I've been seeing this, and feeling it play out. Cause it's not just one day, guys. Full moon isn't one day. This isn't like a cycle that kicks off and all of a sudden all of these cool things are happening. This, like, these stars act like gates, and they open up and they unfold like events and people and things over time. So I forgot what I was saying. I forgot where I was going with all of this. But the changes aren't instantaneous, like we want them to. But this month is definitely going to initiate different changes, whether it's psychological. It could turn up differently in your chart for you where, it's actually, material, like it shows up in the material world. It's different for everybody. But these touch on different houses of your lives too. So it could, affect your work home life balance. It could affect your, how you deal with your children and, balance joy and all of those things. So this one is pretty intense, but I think that the moon being in Taurus near Aldebaran is definitely like a test of, your personal integrity. What are you willing to put up with? What kind of lies are, you willing to face? You know, what are the things that you're willing to look at and handle your business? Are you willing to stand on business? You know, like that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like soul destiny time. Because
yeah,
even like, you know, if we look at the next new moon is going to be, I don't know if the date's going to be Ophiuchus or Sagittarius, but it's your higher self. You are rebirthing your higher self, especially in the next 3-4 months when we've
oh,
got
definitely.
Neptune and Saturn so close together, right? For March of
Yeah.
2026.
Oh my
And
gosh, Neptune and Saturn are squaring the Milky Way, the galactic center and the
Yeah, they were though back in
yeah.
the summer.
Yeah, they
definitely
were. They
were
keep
already.
doing
They
that's
have
why
been.
like everything that's happening feels so destined, I think. But
yeah.
that's just
Well, North Node too, like, and there's so much play with North Node, like that's your dharma. This really is
yeah.
soul destiny time. So it's like
Yeah.
if you don't love your job or the way that you're making money, you know, and the way things are bringing in, well, spirit's back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's time. It's like the bull is like, you know, we're in a no bullshit time right now. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you building? What is your legacy and how are you moving forward? And then the new moon later this month is going to be more around that creation energy. What do you want your life to look like going forward and create on the new moon? Like even just the vision so you have it written down.
Yeah.
This is a
It looks crazy,
Yeah.
you
sexy
guys.
time.
This looks crazy. the
Yeah, so
moon.
we do have Mars and Venus closing out their cycle. I think they usually have like a 2.5 year cycle that deals with like
Yep.
your love and relationships. So I mean, they're having this 9-year, you know, endings and things like that. And that doesn't mean like your relationships are going to end, guys. That's not what I'm saying. It's just saying that it's a beginning of a new cycle. So
Yeah.
the way that you've been
Awareness.
doing things, it may change. So, you know, we could probably talk about that closer to when they come into conjunction.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
That's crazy though.
but they're definitely wrapping things up, and you can see like, oh God, you guys, I remember when that cycle started because I was like, everything is bad and it's gonna be bad this entire cycle, and I was right. But it was just my own personal like forecast, and I was right. But
It's been bad.
yeah. The last 2 years
Real
can just
bad.
go fly
Yeah.
a kite. My
Yeah.
God. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this new year. I'm looking forward to that new cycle too. Like that's actually going to be happening on that when they come into conjunction, the sun will be with them and it'll be on my vertex line in my 5th house. So I'm like,
Right.
I'm hoping like it's a better time than the last couple of years. That's for sure. But no, that's a cycle I'm really looking forward to that one.
I can't believe you're looking forward to it, Niki. I'm shocked.
Oh, yeah, I got to look forward to something unless it goes belly up. I'm like,
that's the thing. You usually don't. You're like, this one's going to suck. I know it's going to be bad. But then I'm like, oh, I didn't realize all this was going on in December. That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've already like, I know, like everybody, like we talk about the cord cutting thing. Like I don't need to cut cords with like my ex, all of that. So that's all been done. That contract's over. Those things are all over. Like I need to cut cords with like other karmic things, you know, like past patterns. What's the thing, the root cause of my unhappiness? Like what is robbing me of all my joy? Like those are the things I want to cut cords with. So I think it's the perfect time, you know, that you got this full moon happening right on the 4 royal stars. And I'm telling you guys, like, use those stars in your magic. If you're into like ritual work and magic, like there's a lot of history and a lot of things said about these 4 royal stars. That's why they're so like important. People use them all the time. But you can use them for protection. You can call on them to watch for you. There's lots of different like esoteric things that I'm into that I'm telling you about that you can do the same thing. I like to use the sky and the astrological alignments to line up with like the type of, you know, rituals that I want to do, the type of connections that I want to make with spirit and, you know, it's not just your guides. I had this argument yesterday, okay, with my the day before with my dad, because he's like, there's only one God, there's only one God, and there's only one God and one son. And I'm just, and I just, oh my God, I let him have it.
Niki,
I told him that I don't believe in the devil, because he's talking about the devil and the devil this and devil that. And I was like, the devil's made up. And I lost it. Forgot where I was going with all of this. But yeah, I mean, there's more powers out there. There is more than just what you were told. Like, use your mind, explore a little bit. You know, it's
he's in a cult. He can't.
He's in a cult.
He's not allowed.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought he was cool, but he hasn't been very cool lately. But it's Scorpio season and it's in his 7th house. So he has Saturn there and it's directly across from the sun. So there's a lot going on there. So I'm trying to be like a loving and forgiving human being that is accepting of another loving human being.
Just keep telling him, Niki. Be like, I love you. Like, leave me alone.
I do. Despite our differences, it's nice to be able to like yell at somebody and tell them that what I think is that they're telling me is fake, because most people would probably punch me in the face if they heard the things I was saying to them. You know, they get a little crazy. So I don't know. I'm kind of grateful that we can have these religious arguments, because I'm sure if I was living in any other timeline that Christianity was in charge of, I'd be burned at the stake or stoned, you know, and something horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't keep my mouth shut, guys. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. I'm so against just control. I can't stand that brainwashing control stuff, but that's
people
why
like us didn't make it very long in days prior.
Not even as a kid. I was that bad kid that was like, oh, so if you're bad, God will come and get you. All right. Well, I'm going to flip off the, altar. I'm going to flip off the crucifix. I'm going to be bad. I'm going to swear. I'm going to say all the bad things, and we'll just see if he comes and gets me. Like I was just that kid. You couldn't tell me anything. I had to test it. It was so, and I'm still like that, but better. But like not better at being bad. I'm just saying like better at being more grounded and like accepting of, oh, this is like the human narrative. This is just the collective story that we have to go along with. Okay. Kind of see it as that. I too have dabbled with so many different religions too. I actually had gone to a few services at the Kingdom Hall. I know you're like, oh my God. Well, okay, this story actually ends badly because I'm surprised I wasn't called. The cops called on me for stalking. So I ended up showing up at the lady's house and I scared her. But then I was like, well, F you, because you just show up at mine whenever the hell you want. So
yeah, that's not fair. If you can show up at your house, you should be able to show up at their house too.
But she was elderly and everybody's like, don't scare the old lady. And I'm like, well, okay, never mind. We're not going to go into this story because it's going to make me look really bad. But let me tell you something. Like some people don't like when they're served the same dish that they like to serve. Let's just put it that way.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like the Jehovah's Witnesses, you guys. I wish that they were allowed to come to my door. Because I love having those conversations and we just don't get any.
No, not in Russia.
They have them.
Everybody's Orthodox.
You're not allowed to try to convert anybody. It's illegal. Like you can talk about your stuff, but you can't like go knocking on doors and it's not a thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So nobody knocks on your door to sell you anything either? Oh, that sounds amazing.
Well, there's a like an apartment phone. Like you gotta get rung in, There's security, man. It's from the Soviet times. Like stuff was crazy back then. So they double up on all the doors, tripled up on all the doors actually. So no.
You're lucky. You're lucky. Oh my God.
I'm lucky for so many reasons, you guys. I feel bad kind of because you guys are talking about life falling apart at the seams, it sounds like to me. And I'm like over here, like just rocking out, having a great time. I just don't, it's hard to relate sometimes. And I feel bad, but I want you guys to know out there watching, like It is possible. I saw somebody, what was it? Like, I don't know, it's like scrolling through shorts or whatever. And this guy's like, there's nothing you can do to get rid of stress. I'm like, oh yeah, there is, buddy. There's all kind of stuff you don't have to just be a miserable human being. That's not like, you can heal from your bullshit.
Yes.
You can walk. I'm living proof, you guys. I'm not a good liar. Okay. Let me just start with that. And the person that you see over here is like literally how I go through life. Now, granted, my family gets the scary mom voice more, but that's only after like 20 times of saying the same thing, you know? But otherwise, so like, I don't even know how to pretend to be, you know what I'm saying? So I assure you, I am the happiest person you will ever meet. I live a life in a state of bliss. I can watch war and just horrible things on the news and just recognize that, well, probably none of it's real, but also like, I don't know, when I think some of that comes again from like non-dualism. If you don't see that separation, it's just like, I really do. I feel it. I know it on whatever level, that it's all just consciousness. It's all just different configurations of consciousness at any given time. And that's just the nature of things. And I don't know, like, it's a good feeling, you guys. It's great. It's awesome. Just want you to know you could do that too. Like, everybody's got it in me or in you.
Yeah.
It probably helps. I was thinking about this too. B was in the chat, I think. We were just talking about, we were looking at my chart the other day, but your sun really is, so you would never know it. Like, just if the sun sign, in my experience, is really like what other people see. Yes, it is very much like the energy you're radiating, but it is much more external. And I see this a lot. Like, people see the Sagittarius. I'm a stereotypical Sagittarius, not the silly one where it's like, oh, they're not trustworthy and they're really airy, and like, it's not that, okay? But like a real Sagittarius, the Ninurta energy, okay? I'm going to slay the demons, literally sometimes, okay? I'm going on adventures. I'm gonna go after, it's boss energy, and I definitely nail that one. But that is in such opposition to the Virgo ascendant. And when I talk about myself, I usually talk about I'm a Virgo, because inside, like, you guys don't see the most people in the public don't see the OCD, meticulous organization, alphabetical of the spice cabinet, you know, the spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of data that I will never use again. You know, like, there's things like the militant independence, basic.
I do that too. Oh my God.
Well, you have stuff, yeah, but you have a strong Virgo too. So,
yeah.
like, there really is that Virgo's really a lot more, or your ascendant definitely speaks a lot more to like what's going on the internal side of the spectrum too. But
yeah,
that's just,
I agree with that. That I do. I agree with that. It's not just on the outside. We talk about the ascendant just being like your outside appearance and how you like initiate, you know, yourself through life.
Is that what people do with it? Is that what other people do?
Well, it's been explained, you know, that in that way, you know, but I'm a Leo rising, and I may be.
Are you?
Yeah, I may be a little bit dramatic. Well, I mean, it's sort of. I mean, if you look at look at the sky, it's like actually right in between Cancer and
is Regulus beneath or below the horizon? I can't remember.
It's below. Okay. But I have the eye of the
you got a lot of that Cancer in there, Niki.
Yeah, I do, and it's just terrible. I was like, what's wrong with me? And like, then I saw that and I was like, oh, it's that, all those emotions. And
I don't even think it's that, Niki. Listen, I've known you for, I don't know now, like a couple years or something, right? I don't know, because my sense of time is not.
Yeah, I don't have a good sense of time.
Being blissed out most of the time means that you don't know what day it is most of the time. So I get Cancer in my experience. So that's the underworld. That's one of the accesses to the underworld. And that's the hard access. That's the seat of Anu. That is where Mars, you know, reigns supreme and whatnot. It's not where the ghosts are coming out of to reincarnate. It's where they're going in and, you know, doing the dark, deep work. I think Scorpio gets some of this in the modern system. I don't know for sure, but that's definitely more of a, like if we're looking for an occult connection. We would definitely look at Cancer, but also it's really in your head. And one of the things that I have learned about you in the last few years, listening to you talk about a very real, terrible, traumatic experience. Okay. Like at least metaphorically being chained in a basement for 25 years. It's very similar to that. Is that you continue to just try to process it, and you never it's like you can't let the process, and you're always trying to understand. And this is something that always gets me about Cancer. Like I get crabs, I guess, like water. I guess that's that's sure. But turtles go either way. But both of those are creatures that burrow into the ground.
Yeah.
And in the Mesopotamian symbolism, it's like digging deeper and deeper and deeper until there's no more point anymore. Like at some point, like Cancers are so hyper analytical that it eats them up inside. They just can't shut it down. They have an extremely difficult time meditating because they can't turn their brain off. They have in some cases, and again, it depends on what else is going on in there or, other things in the chart, but they, a lot of times they are afraid to look at themselves. They're afraid to let other people look at themselves. That's the secretive aspect, which I think is in the Western system too, possibly the Vedic too. I think there is a secretive aspect of that, but I think it comes down to the Cancer energy, having like legit, they store the trauma, they store the darkness, maybe so they can keep looking at it. I don't know exactly. Maybe because they think that that's where they got to hang on to it and that's where it's got to go. But
they do leave claw marks and whatever they've been clinging to. That's something Gary.
Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure.
Yeah. It sucks. But I'm figuring it out because it's not linear, guys. You don't just get to read the chart and be like, oh, yeah, you got to peel it back. It's like what Shrek said about being an onion. That's it. That's real.
What did he say about being an onion?
He's layered and it's complicated like an onion. You never watched Shrek?
No.
No? Christine? No? Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, it's like Shrek. Okay.
Okay, I trust you.
Yeah, just trust me. Trust me. People know what I'm talking about, especially in the chat. What are they saying? Actually, I haven't.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Why do you want to terrorize those people? Was it me?
Maybe the Jehovah's Witnesses or something?
Maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
They stopped coming to see me after that. Nobody came to see me. I must have gotten on a list or something.
My mom got big gargoyles, like giant ones that are like 300 pounds each to sit right outside her door. And then they came up to the house the last time and they got halfway there and they saw them and they went and they've never come back. But I was there, this is like totally off topic, but I was at the farmhouse where all the weird stuff happens and the aliens and everything. But we woke up one morning and these things are for real. Like, so they're about 300 pounds each, but then they got a post thing that's probably another 100 pounds. You need like a couple people to help you get them into position and stuff. And it was like snowing outside. Something had lifted it up and set it about a foot away from where it originally was. No footprints, nothing, just the empty square where the snow wasn't. And then all of a sudden this big giant thing is to the other side. So
that would creep me out. Oh my God. That would really creep me out.
Yeah. Crazy stuff went down over there.
Yeah.
Lori says, lol, my ex-astrology boss created a chat GPT to keep up with the fake tropical placements. That's interesting. I wonder who the ex-astrology boss is. I won't make you say. Elif says, Mercury's now visible, ladies, as Hermes. He's only visible about 2 months in a year. So let's make a party. I like that. Yeah. Mary Mystic Lorna says, Chinese proverb, not good or bad. Event, wait and see, perception matters. Agreed. Perception is huge. Like that's basically your perception is a belief and your belief is your dimension that you're operating from. It affects everything, like whatever you choose to accept. And that's why, 2 people get out of a concentration camp and one of them's like, I found God, this was the most amazing experience I've ever had, terrible as it was. And the other person, like, you know, goes and jumps in front of a train. Like, it just, it's really is perception. Mary Mystic Lorna says, old saying, God bless you and keep you. Oh, it must be far away from me. So that sounds like an Irish proverb if I had to guess.
Yeah, that does. I like that one.
Cutting the entanglements. Yes. Elif says, I also use your system. Oh, I read that one before when you were up there. Yes, reversed. Mary Mystic Lorna says, I worked with a group that had licensed counselors who also incorporated ritual spirituality. That's the way to go. You know, like that is extremely powerful. Most of the biggest changes I've made in life, they probably did come with some sort of ritual, but it's not like a one and done. I'm going to, you know, it's a full moon. I'm going to light a candle and then everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, they're usually pretty intense, you know, like you got to do the sensory deprivation. It's got to be there. You have to create that deep psychological change or else.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You got to fast. You got to do fasting. Like you got to prepare yourself.
Got to be hard on some level or else it's harder to, you know, make it work. I worked with, I read that. Okay. Rites of passage, sweat lodge, medicine walk, different Celtic African rituals changing depending on group participants. Yes, lots of that will do it, but most people just do the candle thing. So rituals are huge, powerful, absolutely. Lorna says, people who are still in rage pain use those to move through the point of forgiveness and love for self and others. It's definitely not easy. Probably the hardest part of any of these things.
It is. I think, you know, just like what Christine does, helping people, like massage, body work. You know, we've talked a little bit
positive touch. Yes, that's
yes, and energy work, not necessarily Reiki, because I know a lot of people. There's some weird stuff about Reiki I'm not going to get into, but energy work is really important. And when you do massage therapy or any type of, you know, spa treatments, I mean. I think people feel guilty, especially in the United States, to like take care of themselves. I just feel like they have a really hard time being okay with taking care of themselves and paying for those services and being better.
Yeah, the culture in the United States and a lot of places in the West, but mostly the United States, is built on struggle and strain and stress, and your worth is, if you're not working all of the hours, you don't have a ton of jobs, you're getting a good night's sleep, you're clearly not doing as much as the next guy, which means you're a bad person. Yeah. So taking care of yourself is not going to be something to celebrate, which is very unfortunate.
The connection is really important, because if you look at, like, even if you hug yourself, or haven, which is when you can like rub your arm up and down, it's called havening. So when you're doing that and in a slow method for yourself, you're calming the body down. You're bringing yourself out of fight or flight, which I call the tiger stage. So it's like your body's in that like hyper aware state. But when you have like stress hormones, which a lot of people have high right now, especially this month, then, you know, you can numb on different things, or if you need, you know, some kind of aid, go for it if it's healthy for you, or like you can just, you know, take it in that moment. But if you can go and hug someone or go get a massage, doesn't even have to be where they're talking to you about what you're moving through, where you're just receiving the touch. More than 20 seconds is going to give you more of the oxytocin, which is the connection hormones, a connection drug. And so stress hormones and feel good hormones can't be both high at the same time. So if you are stressed, then go and even just sit down on the couch and hold someone's hand, or arm to arm, because as you slow down your breathing, both of you are regulating each other. You're creating that oxytocin together, the feel-good hormones. It automatically has to lower the stress. You can't have one high, like I mentioned. And so, you know, even just being connected with someone else in whatever way that looks like is going to help you overall, or going for tea or coffee with someone. Because now you've got community, you are connecting in that way as well. I think touch is better, because we're all craving that. And from like an energetic perspective, adults should have about 16 touch points a day, or hugs, and kids it's over 30, and we just don't get that, right? And so finding that in somewhere.
My cat does though.
I
Like,
just
he's the most
There you go.
loved.
There you go.
precious
I was
little
just thinking about
heartbeat in my heart.
my cat
my house.
touch situation. My cat, Kashmiri, the one that I had just now, she's a little tuxedo cat. She likes to be touched for about like 2 seconds and then she's good. And then she's like, you can feel her being like, okay, you're still touching me. Why are you still touching me? And I thought, like, as soon as I registered this, I'm like, not today. Like, this was a couple days ago. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. That's for sure me. Like, yes, I'm ready for a hug, but then stop hugging me and like step away and like just we don't got to keep touching each other right now. So, but I think that's a Virgo thing, and I think we had that conversation on here too. Strong Virgos are like,
Yeah.
a lot of them don't like to be touched. So, it is something that I force myself to do. Like, I recognize that it's probably something not good, I assume. But
when I had really, I lived with chronic pain for a lot of years. Like I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and it was literal, like almost a decade of just constant pain, it just never stopped. And I would get massages. I would, eventually I just would just have to give myself massages, and I would have to do Reiki on myself because I didn't have anybody that would help me. I didn't have anybody that would hug me or tell me everything was going to be okay. It was awful. So I had to be that person for myself, and I tell people that all the time, like, oh, your neck is stiff. Well, are you working on your neck? Have you worked on it yourself? And they just assume somebody else, like, no, nobody will touch me. No, do that shit yourself. Get in there and dig in there. Like, my God, like, get used to touch. Get used to it. They think a lot of people get weird about when you tell them touch yourself. They're like, what? Do what? But I mean,
not my world.
Yeah, like I wish I lived in a different world. Yeah.
Looking at why is the body turning it on? So if you like with bones, muscles, ligaments, it's connected to the new mesoderm part of the brain. And so some good news is that when there is pain in bones, muscles, ligaments, then think about what's going on in your world. You've actually resolved something, and now your muscles or bones are rebuilding. So I'm sorry that you went through the fibromyalgia. My ex-partner's mom had that, and it's very hard to watch someone in that much pain because you want to help them, but they can't receive touch even sometimes. But it's, if you look at what happened, or, did you get out of a situation? Did you resolve something? And now the body's going to go into the healing. My two most common things that people come in for are the shoulders and the hips. The hips don't lie. Shakira was right. And so the hips is connected to the burden is too great. And then depending on what side it's on, and there's a little bit more involved there, but it could be from a territorial loss, could be a connection or sexual frustration of who will I be mated to. Because when you're conflict active, the tissues are going away. And then in the shoulders is guilt, feeling like you can't hold someone, like I'm bad, I've been a bad daughter, I've been a bad partner, or I'm a bad mom, or something like that. And you can tell what side of the body is on, or like, can I show you something like how to read your own body from that perspective?
Yeah.
We just look at like whatever your, are you both right hand dominant?
I am, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it makes it easier to explain. If you're a lefty listening, it's just the opposite. It'll be the reverse. So when we are right hand dominant, I am as well, then our left side is mother child. So your actual mom, children. I didn't have my own children, but I've raised two nieces. So who's still only 13, I would deem her as a child, and my fur baby will be on my left side. On the right side, think of your strong arm, or if you're left-handed, it would be the opposite. So your dominant hand, think of the world and everyone else. That is we call it partner side. So it's dad, siblings, your partners, work people, someone who cuts you off in traffic, that kind of thing. So then when you have a body symptom, I would say 80% of the time you have resolved. So your body has gone into repair and into rejuvenation versus there's something being wrong, because we've not been taught to look at the symptoms in that way, or the body. what is right about your symptom based on your environment and how you're processing or what your core root belief is. So if someone has shoulder pain, then I'm talking to them about like, okay, are you holding on to, I can't hold someone, or some guilt in that aspect? The shoulder blades is betrayal, okay, depending on what side, but in the healing phase that you did it, you've resolved, and it gets turned off up here in the brain. So the body is just listening and helping you on some level. But if someone has sciatica as an example, first of all, I'm like, what's your handedness? What side? I want to know who their mother child side is and the partner side. And then with sciatica, which is in the lower back all the way and shoots down the leg, it's very painful. I always say, who's been a pain in your ass, and on what side it is. Is it your mother child side or is it the partner? And it doesn't mean that that person is the trigger, but something around, that person. And the sciatica is the resolution. So I had a woman who had sciatica for many years. Her brother had it too. So something there with the family around not feeling good enough in your abilities. That's bones, muscles, ligaments, that sort of thing. And so for her, it happened we have a holiday here called May 24 in Canada. And she would get sciatica May 24 on her partner side. So I was like, okay, well, I can kind of detect it with her. Well, what happened when you were starting to get it? And she said, well, my partner passed away. I'm like, okay. So then there's a core root belief in her that she doesn't feel good enough in her abilities around running the house. I talked to her a little bit more and asked her more questions. And so I just helped her to reframe her perspective and the way that she would look at it. I said, you've got your daughter and her children in your home. So that's 2 generations of people who can help you with the garbage and the different things. But her weight was, he looked after all this stuff and I don't have the ability, like this is too much for me. And her brother lives up the street. So we just reframed how she was looking at the situation and why her body would turn it on from here, the ruminations and such, the psyche brain organ or psyche brain body connection. And so a year later, I ran into her again, just here in my spa's in a plaza. And I just said to her, did you have the sciatica this year? And she's like, no, I'm great. I'm going on vacation on Saturday. And I was like, amazing, because she had to turn it off up here. But that's where I feel people can be empowered, and you can find any symptom on learninggnm.com as one start, or reach out to me because I have some other resources that I can share if someone's interested in going deeper with, why is your body turning this stuff on or off, depending on what the symptom is. But that there's a purpose and a reason to the pain. We learned something, or we got out of a difficult situation and now we're in the repair. And for someone who's been through a really difficult situation and you're thinking about like, yeah, but all that stuff happened, a really nice thing you can do for your body is like, thank you, body. Thank you, body, that you brought me through that hard thing. Or if someone was, I did have a client who was kept inside, her house for 33 years. And it's just like, thank you, body, that you helped me to survive during that difficult situation, right? As a way of like, what is right about the symptom based on your situation.
Yeah, definitely. Loving and appreciating the body when it's causing you pain is really helpful in making all those pains go away.
It's really hard to do. It's really hard to do.
Yes.
You feel so limited, and it's so it's debilitating. Like I just remember being so trapped and not getting any help. I couldn't go to the doctor because they're like, we don't know. Like, here, just take this pill the rest of your life. Like, that's all we have for you. And they even had an intervention. They had like 6 people in the room with me to convince me to take this pill for the rest of my life because I have a problem with pharmaceuticals. And I'm like, trust me, I don't have any problem with drugs. All right. I have a problem with your drugs. Like, I've read the pamphlet, nobody wants brain zaps and neurological disorders,
Yeah.
Come on. It's funny you bring that up about the left and right side though, because for a lot of years, and it wasn't until actually this year, my right side was always bigger than the left side. And I thought, well, it's got to be tendonitis. It's got to be something. But when I have flare-ups, it's my entire right side will actually flare up and my left side won't. So yeah, people cause me a lot of problems, man. I just
Well, what happens is
Namely the
the
partnerships.
edema,
Yeah.
and healing fluid is going in and expanding that area to repair, but it also is connected to the kidneys of abandonment, isolation, refugee, which is feeling like a fish out of water, or existence conflict. So we always got to look at that first to help lower the amount of fluid that's in the body, because then the pain can be less. But yeah, it's the body is amazing. When you start to track, like I had example, I was here one night and I was learning more of the GHK stuff, and I was printing the orgasm module, which is so exciting to me because it's the work that I do. And a snowplow came through, this was 2 Januaries ago, came through the parking lot at midnight on a Saturday night, and I'm single, but immediately I went into panic and I was like, oh no, I need to hide. Like, I'm being bad. I'm like, once I figured out I was spiraling, I'm like, I'm a grown ass woman. Like, this is my business. I'm allowed to be here. But I was so afraid that he was going to think, like, why is she here on a Saturday night? She must be a spinster. Like, why isn't she home with her family? Like, all that kind of thing. And so I talked myself down. The next day, I had a wheezing on my right lung, because the lung could be scare fright, or, in the laryngeal, so the throat, or in the lung, the bronchial is territorial fear. So the territorial fear here, being it's my business. And so over the next few days, I had mucus and coughing and that sort of thing. So my body was repairing territorial fear. I knew what it was from. And I just said, okay, body, we're not afraid of a snowplow. And by day 7, I was fine. Then a year later, I was walking back to the kitchen here at the spa, and the snowplow came through again, and my body went, and I just put my hand on my chest and I breathed down and I said, no, we're not afraid of a snowplow. So there's something in my psyche or in my subconscious, either the frequency sounded like, maybe someone yelling at me when I was younger, or when something scary happened, the snowplow was outside, or something along that line, because the body remembers. But we have so much power and control. So once I knew and could watch myself walk through the healing phases, is what I call them, I was like, oh, that makes sense why my lung would have had the, extra mucus and stuff. You really, when you can't unsee it. When you become the detective of your body, you're like, oh, I know why I have, that skin thing or whatever it is. It's really neat.
Yeah, I hate that though, because then I realized a lot of the things that I was doing was perpetuating my illness. I
You're
hate
learning
those
your pattern interrupt.
realizations. Oh, right. Well, I had struggled to quit drinking, and when I finally quit drinking, because Wisconsin is just like the biggest alcoholic state you'll ever find. Like, we are the biggest alcoholics here. Don't let anybody tell you that we're not. If somebody's like, oh, don't say that about Wisconsin, you're probably come from a family of alcoholics and you're ashamed. I don't know what it is. Like they can drink 10 drinks a day and they're like, this is normal. And it's not. It's just not. So it took me a really long time and I struggled. But when I did finally quit drinking, it was like a year later, I still had horrible symptoms. And I was still like landing on the couch. I was not able to move. I still wasn't able to grip. And I thought, well, it's got to just be that. It's just got to be like these bad habits, all these things I'm clearing out. And no, I had to go even further than that. I had to like look at what I'm eating. And I found out I'm allergic to everything, basically. And even the career I was in, I was allergic to the hair color and the products and all of that stuff. So like some people don't want to heal because it means they have to give up a lot of the things that they would rather, like, oh my God, like I would do anything to eat a big bowl of Lucky Charms. Okay. Like, and pizza and go to Olive Garden and I want spaghetti and garlic bread. Like all those things I cannot have. They will kill me. They will literally kill me. And if you tell me it's all in my head and I go and do it, I'll find out it's not. And then I'm sick for like weeks and it's horrible. So like, yeah, I think.
Yeah, they put antifreeze in the Lucky Charms.
Stop.
They do. No. They put it all Fruity Pebbles, anything that's got those colors. Yeah, it's full of antifreeze, at least in the US.
It causes me a lot of like neurological issues. So I shake and then I can't like.
Yeah, it's like toxic shock.
Yeah, it's awful. But yeah, I mean, making the changes and having to do like all the work, it sucks. It's not easy. And so anybody who does it, like, I commend you. I mean, now is a really good time to wrap up a lot of the old cycles that you've been stuck in, the old patterns and the old dialogue, you know, you've been telling yourself over who knows how long, you know, it could be decades, could just be, the last 2 years with this, Venus Mars cycle wrapping up too. It's like how we feel and how we participate in our relationships and what we go after. So there is a lot happening right now that affects everybody. It affects everybody a little bit differently,
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Abby? You're always blissed out. Do you feel like
Yeah.
anything like ending? Do you feel like
No.
old stuff going away? And
No.
Nope.
But I've been working on my shit for a long time.
Yeah.
No, that might be it.
You've got a really good meditation practice too. You do. Like, I think if you stay consistent with meditation, that really is a huge.
Yeah, it's like I get
factor.
so excited to meditate, which is so different than how it used to be. I hated it with every fiber of my being. It sucked. But I was definitely doing it wrong. I was doing it the way everyone told me to do it, which was not the right way. So, yeah.
Do you prescribe a lot of
all
meditation?
I saw was black. When I started to meditate in about 2019, I just saw black, and I'm like, this isn't
That's
even
good.
working. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about the groceries or whatever. No, I couldn't. My brain was just too much in fight or flight at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But then as I relaxed, it took me about 5 months, and I realized I would hold my breath on the computer when I was working and stuff. And I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
wow,
Me
just,
too.
the awareness. But I found breath work. I like breath work. I can meditate, but I really like breath work because as you're breathing and the different tempos of breath, you're actually activating your own ecstasy and DMT and oxytocin stuff in your body. So you can get a natural body high, which I was a hardcore 30-year plus drinker. So I feel you there, Niki. And so breathwork has replaced that, where I can still get the high and feel good and be energized to go and do work or whatever it is. Yeah. Good.
I did Wim Hof breathing. I like it sometimes if I really want to kick myself out of my body really, really fast. That's a good way to do it. But
yeah, I've tried that. I don't recommend it.
No. There's one called Elemental Rhythm, and they bring you up and down. They teach you the elements, and they bring you up and down 4 times. And all of the breaths have like longer and then really short. The fire breath is short. And it's really nice. From darkness to light is one of them.
I can see that. See, my issue was control in meditation. That was my biggest problem. And following any type of basically anything, any type of meditation, any type of rules or structure, because I'm a structure person with all the Virgo, like it's just a part of my biology. So I really had to I really had to surrender everything, like and really check out. See, I have learned this about myself. Virgos too have really strong survival instinct. They're very connected to the earth, to the body, to the cosmos, to like the material, illusory material substance of existence, which is not always good. I mean, it's good to survive, but you end up putting way too much importance on objective reality, which isn't really real. And I think that was a big turning point for me, was like surrendering all the potential survival stuff, whether it's money or food or oxygen or freedom or, all the stuff that would kick somebody into fight or flight mode in the first place, and be like, fuck it. I guess if that's what we're going to do, you know what? Let's burn it down. We're just going to let it go. We're not going to care about any of this anymore. Not going to worry about, like, just stop worrying about everything. Which was not easy. At least not in the beginning, but then it got real easy. But I say that I'm skipping over all of the deep, dark inner work where you guys, I know I've said this before. I had to quit wearing mascara. I had to get circuit my eyelashes done because every time I meditated, I would be sobbing. Now, sometimes I would be sobbing and like laughing hysterically. It was like, it's Ananda, it's bliss, right? You're just like, you're totally there. But it's also, you know, I went months with my eyes were swollen shut from crying all the time. And I went through, like, I dug through and I forced myself to face all of every tiny little thing that I could find. All shame, guilt, anger, resentment. Like, and I'm like, fuck it. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it all. We're getting it out. I'm not messing around anymore. And I did. I spent like 3 to 6 months. That's all I did. I meditated for like 5 to 6 hours a day throughout the day. And it worked. And now I can, you know, just meditate right now. I have a couple things that, like, you know, that still trigger me once in a while, but usually it's only if I'm sleep deprived and my body's already, like, my brain's not functioning right. I live in a country where I'm not fluent in the language as well as I should be. And it's hard to have conversations sometimes, like important conversations, very, you know, so like there are some moments where I get sucked back into thinking it's all like very serious and important. And it's just not, like, none of it is. You guys, everything you're working towards, all of your projects, all of your name, whatever, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Okay. You're going to die. You can't take any of that shit with you. You're leaving it here. Okay. All your people that you know, they may or may not be real. I don't know. This could very well be some sort of video game. And I think that that's really liberating personally, because I went through this phase where I'm like, I have to leave something to posterity. I have to procreate. Like, I have to pass on my genetic code and, you know, appease my ancestors. Like all these crazy ass stories that you tell yourself, right? Like, I just made everything way more important than it had to be. At one point, I basically had the house that was my grandparents' house, and I felt like this was important too. I was responsible for all of these things. I took on all these goofy ass responsibilities, and none of it's real. None of it's real. Like, it's only as important as you put that importance onto it. We really are so powerful. We create everything that's happening. We create all of our experiences. This is all just, you know, one giant projection of your consciousness, whatever state your consciousness is at any given time. But I know that bums some people out. Like, what do you mean? Like, none of it's real. And all the stuff I'm working towards, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ask Beethoven. You think he gives a shit that he created all this amazing music? No, he doesn't care. You know, he's up there blissed out, rocking out with whoever, you know, Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, I don't know, pick somebody. But wherever he's at, he's having a good old time, and he doesn't give a goddamn about any of the things that he left behind. Okay, you guys, that's only stuff we care about. It doesn't have to matter. So, like, taking back my power, like the power that I just was given away, you know, to all these fake things that just none of it mattered, you know. But it really did. It was a rough, and I always glaze over that part. I never talk about, like, just the, you know,
how messy.
Sobbing.
Yeah. It's messy.
Yeah.
It's really messy going through
it
all
is.
that stuff and having to face it. And it's, yeah, I get it. I do. I try to laugh at it. Laughter is like the best medicine for me. The more inappropriate the jokes, the harder I laugh. Like, if you want to get dark, like, let's laugh about it. Cause I'm into it. Because what else are you going to do? Can you live in a perpetual state of depression and anger and, you know, no. It's just not
your body
feasible.
shuts down, your immune system shuts down. It tries to take you out. It's like, all right, whatever we're doing is not working. We might as well get out of here. Like, let's shut it down.
I can usually tell the kind of day I'm going to have by the way I drive. Like, if I have to get up in the morning and go somewhere and I am cussing everybody out on the road.
I'm taking the crowbar out. I'm reaching behind the seat trying to get the crowbar.
Yes.
It'll be a bad day.
I told my kids one day I will either become wealthy enough to have somebody drive me around or something, you know, something will happen. Hopefully where I'm not driving, because I can't stand the people here. They drive so dumb. Nobody merges going 55, 60 onto the highway. Stop it. You're killing me. I'm going to die. They merge at like 60 and everybody's going 80, no matter where you're trying to merge. I'm not
Oh, yeah, you got
kidding.
to keep up with the flow of traffic. That's real.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to discuss how bad the driving is here in Wisconsin, but it is.
Move to a big city where they have public transportation, but not like a scary one, I guess. I always forget. Like, I haven't driven a car since the last time I was in the United States, and I sure don't miss it. I don't miss
I love my
anything about
car.
it.
I got a really awesome car. My old car was bad. This one is so good. It's like I upgraded. It's like I got a transformer. It's like it's got buttons and
But
it
are you doing
dings
the
and
oil changes at the right
Yeah.
time?
I am. I really
for
I
you.
follow the little sticker that they tell me. I bring it back to the same place I bought
Good.
it and yeah. Oh, anyway, that's
Congratulations.
it's a whole nother
See?
webinar story.
It's a win. Let's take all the wins we can get.
Yes.
Christine, we had a grand old time having a conversation with you.
Yes.
Thanks again for coming, everybody.
Yeah,
Go to
come back and see us too sometime. We'll talk more
Yes,
about the
yes,
body and
absolutely.
healing. I didn't even get to, talk to you about like all the other cool stuff you do. I mean, like I think like the sexual healing, that creative like part of what you do, I think that's super important. And we are going to actually have a show on astrology, sextrology, one of these days.
we need to have
talk
one of those for
about
sure.
it. So you have to
Awesome.
join us for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we should do a workshop. Let's do a roundtable workshop.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do it. Let's schedule
I
it.
pulled
for
a
this
card
time.
for today, if that's okay, just to share.
Yes,
And I thought it was so fitting for even the conversation we've had today. It's your inner temple. So it's all about devotion and tune into the portal of your heart. And so if you are on your journey of healing or wherever you're at, the card's saying like continue to keep going within and deepening. And if you have been on the journey a long time and you have done your work, then now you turn into the teacher. And to me, it's like reaching back and grabbing someone's hand saying, come, I've been through that hard thing. Let me, share my journey with you.
Yeah. Oh,
well, that's
I love
awesome.
That. That is so like Taurus full moon too. I love this.
Totally.
Everything.
Totally. And it's like a mirror.
It is. It's so beautiful. What deck is that? What card deck is that?
It's Rebecca Campbell, Work Your Light.
Oh, okay.
I'm just writing it down. I know I can always go back and listen, but I want to
Work Your Light Oracle cards.
Work Your Light Oracle. I don't have any Oracle cards. I've gone full blown tarot, but now I've not been feeling very good about my tarot cards lately. I'm like, why don't I resonate with you? Why aren't we cool? I don't know. Maybe
Oracle cards to me are like a nice affirmation, or it's just, I don't know, a nice message.
Yeah. I love oracles.
You guys could create a card deck. That would be awesome.
I've been trying. Eventually I'll get my ideas together, but
for the ISAA, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I know. We should. We got a lot going on, but first and foremost, it's the astrology, laying the foundations for that. Yeah, I know it connects with everything else, but oh God, it's been one thing at a time. I've been wanting to run and I keep tripping and falling, so I gotta take my time so I don't burn out. But this has been awesome, Christine.
Yeah, it was super awesome. You guys check out Christine's website, oasisofhealingspa.com. Her information is, if you want an easy link, in the video description. Don't forget, we have a bunch of events coming up. They're all free to register for. You will not get the replays unless you're an ISAA member. Consider becoming a member because all of your money helps support the organization, helps support the mission. You guys, we're making Sidereal Astrology mainstream. It's happening now. Be a part of the revolution, okay? Because it's happening. And I guess that's it. I think we'll be back next time, yeah?
Yeah, we'll be back next week, yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, we will see you guys then. Take very good care of yourselves. Bye.